On YouTube, live on Facebook, live. We're live because that's the way I like to do it. Anyway, I'm making mango salsa romaine boats. I'm talking about death by 1,000 cuts because it's critical and there's a lot of different aspects of it that I missed, okay? That's another thing too. We're also going to be, you know what I love about live? There's a coat hanger right here. I'm going to get rid of this coat hanger. All right? There's a coat hanger up here. I just saw it. Because we're live. That's why. Anyway, death by 1,000 cuts. Really important to know how we're getting cut. What's happening? I got some cuts over here. You don't see them maybe. I got some cuts over here. I'm going to pull them out. Got cuts all kinds of places, right? Because that's how it works with chronic illness. You get cut, then 995 cuts in, and boom, boom. Listen, I got the mangoes here, red onions. I'm going to talk about triggers too, you guys. Triggers. Romaine, lettuce right here, tomatoes, limes, cilantro. I got the Wyman's wild blueberry juice because everybody's now asking me about the shots. You know, how do you do the shots? How do you do the shots? How do you do the shots? That's what everybody's saying. So I'm going to show you how to do the shot. It's really simple. But I take the wild blueberry shot every single day, like every single morning. I take it sometimes earlier in the morning, then I sometimes take it later in the morning. And but you guys know that I'm working with these guys, okay? And because I want to make sure we don't lose this precious resource. Scares me because it's one of these things where anyone brave enough to make this quality and a wild blueberry juice, it's not easy to make. That's not a joke. So I want that product around for people. I consider that a medical medium tool. And I'm working with them. I endorse them just wholeheartedly, officially endorse them. Anyway, I'm just letting you guys know what's up. So anyway, I'm going to do the wild blueberry shot in a little bit too. So you guys, if you guys just came on here, I'm making the mango salsa romaine boats. I'm talking about death by 1,000 cuts. I'm talking about triggers. That's a big deal, triggers, okay? So covering that too. I'm glad you guys are with me. You seem fine to me. Is here. Chris, you're here. Austin, good to see you. Ashley, Kevin, good to see you. Glad you guys are coming on. This is great. Anthony, I went to the doctor yesterday and asked for half vials, and the doctor looked at me and said, we don't do half vials. But yet, you know what's crazy, Austin, is there's a lot of people saying they're asking their doctors, can you do half vials? And they're saying no problem. And a lot of phlebotomists now are saying, hey, no problem. And it's really difficult when they do that because, yeah, of course you can do half vials, right? Of course there's the half vials out there, of course. And if anybody just got on here, right? This episode, the episode is Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcasts. I talk about blood draw, bloodletting, and vampirism, and I talk about too much blood is taken, which you lose your CBC. CBC, you were good to me, but now bye bye, BB. See you later, CBC. Gone. And that's what they do. They remove. They remove. And when they remove, you're losing that immune system, little bit, and then a lot more of it, and the bone marrow has to kill itself to actually try to restore and recreate the immune system, and then we get in trouble. So the bottom line is, in the episode, if you guys want to know, I talk about how ask your doctor for half vials, ask your phlebotomist do half vials. The lab will take quarter vials. We've had RNs on Instagram come on and say that, yeah, we take quarter vials at our lab. We'll take half vials. So, yeah, it's really important to know this stuff. So we're making mango salsa romaine boats, all right? And we're talking about what, Austin asked for half vials. It's not easy, It's not easy when that happens. I've Deborah, hi Anthony, not feeling my best today. So if the doctor doesn't take, look, if it was me, right? Listen to your doctor. Always listen to your doctor, all you guys. But if it was me, like me, what I would do is be like, okay, well, you take full vials, you don't take half vials. All right, well, then I'm gonna give you 2 to 3 vials. That's what I would do. I'll give you 2 to 3 vials. If you only take full vials, I'll give you 2 full vials, 3 full vials the most. Listen to the podcast and all that for sure. Deborah, hi Anthony, not feeling my best today. Oh no. You know, I mean, that's not good. That's not good. Deborah? You having one of those days? Yeah. You know, it's 3 steps up, 2 steps back down, right? So 3 steps up and then 2 steps back down, right? But what happens is when you start feeling a little better on your 3 steps up, you start doing more. And what Spirit of Compassion has always told me is when people start doing a little bit more than they normally do, but you know, it's hard to tell, but you do a little bit more, and then you feel like you get kicked back down again, but then you're down again for a little bit, and then you go back up, but then you go back up a step a little higher, and you know, and it's this process. You're climbing this ladder. You're 3 steps up, 2 steps back, right? 3 steps up. And that's how healing works in the body. And there's nothing more, you know, as far as like feels disappointing when you feel like you're going back a little bit, or you're having one of those days or a few days where you're like, I just don't feel good. You know, I don't feel good. And it's really hard. And Deborah, just hang in there. Hang in there, because when you're working on your healing process, your body loves you. It loves you unconditionally. It knows you're working with it. Our bodies know that we're working as a team with our body, and our body loves us for it and is looking out for us. So just hang in there, okay? Anthony, how do we take the shots? Let's talk about it. So here's what I do, okay? I mean, in the morning, if I don't get my celery juice done yet, you know, I mean, it happens. Things are going crazy because the celery juice is a powerful healing tool. We know that, right? But I'm using, for my friends and family, the wild blueberry juice is a powerful tool too. So it's one of those things. I just love tools, you know, and it matters. So what I do is, in the morning, if for some reason I didn't have my celery juice yet, right? And I'm in a place where the morning's coming on. It's getting late, you know, it's getting late in the morning, late in the day. And I'm like, whoa, we're late morning now. I'll make sure I get a couple of shots in. Sometimes I'll do them early in the morning too, right? So what I do is I actually get in touch with the energy here, with what's in here. So that's how I do it, right? And I didn't tell you guys because I've had moments in my life, right, that I've been blessed to sit in a wild blueberry field. And it's something that I can't even tell you, right? Because the plants are thousands of years old and thousands of years old. And they've been doing their thing every single year. They come up out of the ground. You can't kill these things. They're so potent and powerful. In my opinion, it's like adaptogenic times 10, right? And so I've had the experience of knowing what it's like to lay in the field and meditate, to meditate in wild blueberry fields where I'm just laying in them. And you can feel the energy. You've got the earth and the blueberries are all around you and they're coming up around your arms. And it's incredible. Yeah, you turn blue and you got to pick the clothes you want to wear that day if you do it, because those things are going to be blue. They're just going to be blue, right? And because you're laying on those berries, you're crushing those berries, right? And I've been there, and you don't have to have that experience, right? Because it's in the bottle. That's how I think about it. You know, it's in the bottle. And so I do this little meditation around the wild blueberry juice is what I do. And I sit quietly for a moment, right? And you can lay down too, but I sit quietly in a spot and I close my eyes, or I'll lean back in a nice comfy chair, or I'll lay down on the floor or on the couch or something. And I'll think about the power these wild blueberry plants have, being around for thousands of years, and how they feed all the animals. They feed the deer, they feed the moose, they feed the bears, they feed the foxes, right? And I think about all that, and I think about like all the hungry animals that when these blueberries start coming up, these wild blueberries, this isn't cultivated blueberry, these wild blueberries, when they're coming up in the fields, I think about the foxes going through the field, right? And they're hungry because it's not easy to get food for wild animals. It's not easy at all. The foxes will just sit in the field and they'll eat, and I'll remember this and I'll be thinking about this, right? And if you haven't experienced it, it's okay. You can just think about it. And so what happens is that that's how I get in touch with the wild blueberry, the energy of it. And that's part of how I take the shots, okay? Which is really, really a big part of it. So then, of course, I open up the bottle, right? And I think about the color. And you can't juice a cultivated blueberry and get that color. It's not going to happen, you know? And from what I've seen, in my opinion, and what I've seen and what I believe, because I've juiced myself, so like regular cultivated blueberries have juiced everything, right? And so I think about the color, and where's that, what is that color? Like that's the power color, right? That's what that is. So I connect like my mind and body to what the reality is of what I'm seeing. So that my immune system, so everything in my body is starting to like resonate, to be like, whoa, are we going to receive that color, those pigments? Like, are we going to receive those pigments? So that's what I do. You guys can do something different if you like, and you can do you don't have to do any of this. You can just take your shot. But I'm just saying, so, and then I pour the shot with all of this in mind. So I connect my body to what this really is. And you know, and I really kind of sing a blessing is what I do, because I'm like, well, you know, how is it possible? Well, when I was younger, and I think about those blueberries in the field, that they're so hard to harvest and to bring to a market as it is, never mind actually having that juice. And this is all part of how I take the shots, you know, and then I send it down like it's tequila, but I've never had tequila. So anyway, I do a shot every single day. Some days I'll take 2 shots, and there are days where I take 3 shots, and I'm like, you know, but because hello? What's going on? How come Wyman's isn't organic? Do they use pesticides? So I can answer that. Okay, so Wyman's is a wild food. It's a wild food. And so wild blueberries, they take care of themselves for almost all of what they need. They take care of themselves. And a cultivated blueberry, you have to, whether it's organic, a cultivated blueberry, whether it's organic or it's conventional, it has to be sprayed 3 times a week. So the organic blueberries, they have to be sprayed. The cultivated organic blueberries have to be sprayed. The cultivated blueberry, whether it's conventional, it has to be sprayed, right? So, and the thing is with sprays, and you have to realize that sprays are a catch-22. So the organic sprays are a catch-22. And I talked about how what's in those things. But what Wyman's does is, because the crops take care of themselves, they can pick and choose where they spray, and they don't use pollinator killers. And so it's only a part of a crop certain time of year or 1 year. And a year could go by and they don't do it all. Another year could go by and they don't do it all. And their berries got the 0 pesticide residue because of this, because a wild food sustains itself and takes care of itself. The thing is with wild foods that are really important, wild foods, like the wild blueberries, are better than organic. So that's another thing too. So wild food is better than organic. So keep that in mind. And so what's incredible about this food is because the plants protect themselves to such a degree, you don't have to be spraying, because that's it. And that's what's incredible about it. So if you get like a fly that comes from South America and it's once every couple of years and it gets bad at one little area of a crop or something, and then they got to spray, but they don't use the pollinator killers. And now vegetables are different. The conventional vegetables, conventional fruits, they get sprayed 3-4 times a week with pollinator killers. And really bad sprays, just 3-4 times a week. Whole entire different thing. And but anyway, some info there. How do you get it? So you can go to shop.wymans.com. So shop.wymans, WYMANS.com. So that's where you can go. Making a mango salsa, romaine boats. So that's a little bit on how I take my shots. And we're in this. We got the mangoes, we got the tomatoes, we got the lettuce. We're going to do this. We're talking about death by 1,000 cuts. And what I love about death by 1,000 cuts is there's things you can do to slow down the cuts or stop the cuts or reverse the cuts. And that's important too, because we're doing all these things that aren't so good, okay? We're doing our colognes and perfumes, right? We got our colognes, we got our perfumes. That one's just brutal right there. I don't know if you guys, that one's bad too. I mean, this stuff is so harsh, but this stuff lowers the immune system. So colognes, perfumes, lowers the immune system. That's a cut. You just got cut. That's how it works, right? So you got that right there. Maybe you're doing tuna in a can, right? You got the metal from the can. You got the mercury from the tuna. The mercury, that's a couple of cuts right there, okay? And that's important too. Yeah. And that, it's important to know, right? So we got that. And what other cuts are you doing, right? Are you doing some eggs? Yeah. Death by 1,000 cuts. It's no joke. Because what happens with eggs is they feed all the bugs that keep people sick. You're sick with a symptom, you got different symptoms, you got different conditions. I talk about the pathogens involved for those symptoms and conditions. And then we're eating eggs, and then eggs. So I didn't ruin anybody's eggs. They were ruined before. Really important to know. So these are all just a couple of cuts right here. Right? And then you got you're drinking out of your cans throughout your life. You're drinking out of your soda cans. You're drinking even your healthier beverages and soft drinks. Like I'm at the store and, hey, this one says organic and it's in a can. This one says, no bad stuff in here and it's in a can, right? This one's, blah, blah, blah. But what happens is that you're doing the aluminum. That's another cut. But they add up and they add up and they add up and they add up and they add up. And that's what happens. Lou Analysis Foraging for Wild Foods should be the new grocery shopping. That would be incredible. It'd be absolutely amazing. Anyway, you guys, with the Wild Wyman's Blueberry Juice, it's shop, shop.wymans, WYMANS.com. So that's important. And then there's other cuts too, right? When you get your blood tested, right? They take a lot. They'll take 60 milliliters, 70 milliliters, 100 milliliters, 150 milliliters, 170 milliliters, 220 milliliters, 380, 400 milliliters of blood. And then they're removing your immune system. That's a huge trigger. And then you go backwards, 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 backwards. Listen to the podcast episode, Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts, blood draw, bloodletting, vampirism, really important to know. And because I talk about how to rebuild, how to protect yourself before you go into your blood tests and blood draws. Susanna said 12 bottles of Wyman's are on their way to me April 19th. Incredible, incredible. I'm supporting these guys. I'm trying to get the word out there. That's what I'm doing. So I'm doing everything I can to get the word out there for these guys because, like I said, when I just don't want this to go away. That's my thing where I just don't want it to go away. So I told them I'll work with you guys. I'll start working with you guys. I'll endorse you guys. I'm in it. I'm in it. I don't want that stuff disappearing because, and because it's so potent. It's so good. And I talked about how I believe therapeutically, and I use it therapeutically for my family, my friends. And that's just what I do. Anyway, let me start making a little food. We'll talk about some stuff. I got some mangoes here. Now, that one might be, these could be overripe. I got to see what I got in here. I got a bunch of different mangoes here. So, I'll see what I have. I'm cutting a mango right now. That mango looks pretty good. All right. So you guys, going to read a little bit about triggers for you too. So I just cut these like this, and I'm going to scoop them out. So Danielle says, not sure I agree with the eggs. Lots of health people and nutritionists, etc., recommend eggs as a healthy protein. It's so frustrating when all the information is so conflicting. Yeah, no, Hello? Yeah. Yeah. No, I heard what Danielle said. I get it, because everybody's talking eggs. Yeah. They thought lots of things were healthy throughout the years. They thought lobotomies were healthy. Yeah. Every health professional, every dietitian, every doctor, every professional, every psychiatrist, every therapist believed that removing the front of the brain from a young girl because she had anxiety was the best way to fix her. Yeah. It was always like that. Hundreds of thousands of girls, young women, the front of the brain was torn off. Yeah. They had a probe go up their nostril, right to the front of the brain. Yeah. This isn't funny, because it happened and it's real. Every health professional thought it was the correct protocol and procedure. Yeah, exactly. For sure. I know people protect their eggs because every health professional believes that they're good for us. But I think what people don't realize is that... Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Sorry. I think that people... They don't realize a couple of things here that... Basically what happens is that... Here's how it works with eggs, okay? Don't worry, Hold on, there's a call coming in. I'm in between calls right here. Hold on. Hello? Yeah, I work at the egg factory. What do you mean on my watch there's missing eggs? 2 months ago? Eggs were taken from my watch? I was on the watch. I punched my card. I did my... You didn't hear anything. No, you didn't hear anything. Yeah, I took a sick day today. Yeah. Am I really home? Yeah, I'm really home. I am. I didn't take the eggs. You're going to fire me? I've been working at the egg factory for a long time. Shh. What? Shh, guys, be quiet. No, I was just talking to a friend of mine. Yeah, dropped me off some chicken soup. Dropped me off some soup. Yeah. No, anyway, no, I didn't steal the eggs. Okay? So just kind of leave me alone. All right, I got another call on the other line. Hello? Well, see, what you don't know is that everybody that's sick with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia and multiple sclerosis and so many other different diseases and conditions have bugs. One of the bugs is called Epstein Barr. It was raised in the labs inside the egg. So what they did was they cut the top of the egg and they put the Epstein Barrs and all the different pathogens in the egg. And that's what they did. And then we eat the eggs and we feed any bugs that are inside of us. And that's how it works. So the worst thing you could ever do is offer eggs for women with PCOS and endometriosis. It makes it worse. If you tell women with PCOS to eat more eggs, their androgen is going to get out of control. It's not going to be fixable. Eggs are that harmful for women when they're sick with chronic illness. One of the medical medium tools was to remove eggs so that women can have a chance to heal different conditions. So I get it. I know that every health professional says that, but just so you know that the lobotomies is just one out of hundreds of examples I can use where every health professional in the world agreed with it. Yep. Now I got to put these guys down. They're starting to get a little out of control. Oh, okay. I'll see you guys later. I got to put these guys back. All right, we got to stop fooling around. We need to make these mango boats before it gets late. Kelly says, doubtful it works like that. You mean at the egg factory Or do you mean eggs? Actually, it does work like that. Very important to know, okay? So I'm going to use another mango. You got to listen to the egg podcast. So what happened was all the different pathogens that we have today were raised in eggs, okay? And I'm going to give you a little 411 about how it works. The chronic illness is as bad as it is today because of this. So there was no other food that would proliferate a pathogen in a controlled environment, right? So you couldn't inject a pathogen in an animal and then have control over it because the animal's immune system, deer fur's flying everywhere, so I'm going to have deer fur in my food. But you can't control the environment. So what happens with the medical industry, the reason why they didn't use animals as the proliferator, okay, is because, and I see a medical doctors on too, and you guys, there's a lot of medical doctors that leave comments, and just so you know, they're blocked, not by me, but by Facebook and Instagram. I'm letting you know, okay? We've learned that recently, that there are dozens and dozens of doctors and nurses that, hey, I'm a doctor and everything else, and I never see their comment, but I now have some friends that are going to be screen shooting them and all of that stuff, so they don't feel like I'm actually not answering their questions. They always let Dr. Fawn in, which is amazing. Only eggs okay are eggplants. Amazing. So here's the difference. They have to use the egg because the egg doesn't have its own immune system. It doesn't. So they used it as a living creature, basically, to inject pathogens so they can proliferate. But the egg, the reason why they proliferate in the egg, because the egg doesn't have its own immune system and the proteins are undeveloped. Really important to know. And that's the difference between surviving when you put a pathogen in an animal versus thriving. They needed it to survive. To thrive is what they needed it. Because when they injected them into animals, the animal's immune system would take control over the pathogen and they would lose control over the pathogen. You see how it works? So what they do is they raise the pathogens in eggs, then they inject those pathogens into animals for experimental. Hello? Why am I not making the mango salsa boats yet? I don't know. Just kind of fooling around. Put down the deer. All right. All right. Guys, that's the medical industry. They don't want me talking about the pathogens inside the eggs and how everybody gets sick. And, it's the head of the medical industry. They want me to put the deer down and stop talking about what they do. They want me to just be a food dummy. Yeah. Did you just say food dummy? They want me to be a food dummy, you know, like they just want me to talk about the health benefits of a tomato, but only the science-based ones. Not even the real ones. Yeah, they want me to play around with food only and not tell you guys the truth about anything. Are you done? I don't know how they got this number. Dr. Sherry Green. Yep. Grow it. Dr. Sherry Green, good to see you. Amazing. Yeah. All right. Gonna make some mangoes right here. Listen to the podcast, the egg podcast, seriously. If you guys have any doubts, listen to it. Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcasts. Please listen to it if you can. So what I'm gonna do is I'm making some mango pieces in here, making a mango salsa, and it's gonna be good. Okay? Teresa, or the virus, if it's in us and the egg's cooked, would it be active? Well, yeah, the eggs could be cooked. It's still an underdeveloped protein. And the underdeveloped protein is what the pathogens know exist. Like, that's what they've been fed on. Pathogens are, a pathogen that's been raised never gets killed off, right? It gets into people, and then when it passes on to more people, it still has all the information of how it was raised to begin with. So it already knows that it eats eggs. So, and yeah, what happens is I'm I'm not anti-animal protein. I'm not anti-vegan and plant-based, you guys. You guys aren't at a vegan channel right now. This is important to know. You're not at a vegan channel where I'm going to throw all this vegan propaganda at you. And you're not at an animal protein channel where I'm just going to throw all this vegan, this bad vegan, the animal protein people tell all the mommies that they're starving their children feeding them lettuce, and the vegans and the plant-based people are telling all the animal protein people that you're soulless because you're killing animals and animals have souls and all this stuff. I'm not into that. I'm into tools. You're right. I'm into tools. Like, that's a tool, right? I'm into the 3 steps up, 2 steps back, 3 steps up, then you're healed, boom, gone. I'm into this. Everybody gets sick. Animal protein people get sick. Plant-based protein people get sick. Plant-based people get sick. They both get sick, and they both don't know what to do. Okay? If you're plant-based, stay plant-based. That's what I recommend. If you're animal protein-based and that's what you love and all that, you stay animal protein-based. You can, but it's important to know where you are right here. Someone might be like, all right, he's okay. He's all about just, it's all vegan or something. No, but I recommend, if you're sick and you got symptoms and conditions, I recommend as a animal protein person to avoid eggs. And I recommend as a plant-based person to avoid going back to eggs. Because guess what plant-based people do? Here's what plant-based people do. Hello? Huh? You've been plant-based? Really? For what, a year? Okay. Let's go. How's it working for you? What's wrong? You're all of a sudden got fatigue? And your teeth are starting to have problems? Really? You think it's really the plant-based thing? You do? You're eating eggs now and fish? You're eating eggs and salmon? So you went back to eggs. Okay. All right. I know a lot of vegan people run back to eggs. A lot of plant-based people run back to eggs. The first thing they run back to. It's why a lot of plant-based people don't make fun of eggs. They know it's a comfort food and they run back to it. I know. But you sure it's the plant-based diet doing it, or are you doing the plant-based diet wrong for what you need in your condition? Because that's what happens to animal protein people. Keto people run for their lives from keto. Animal protein people who are eating all clean, they all of a sudden get sick. They don't know why they got sick, and they get scared, and they think they need to go vegan. Everybody's running across to the other side all the time. I think it's more about tools. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. All right, guys. I got to still make this mango salsa. Mango salsa coming our way. It's going to be good. Knowing the cause of why you're sick is critical. Right? That's critical. That's the big one right there. It's critical to know why you're sick. I'm just telling you right now, you guys, that's a big piece of it. Knowing why you're sick. Okay? And so I am in the Cleanse to Heal book real quick. Spirit of Compassion has always said to me throughout the years of helping so many people heal that knowing the true cause of why you're sick is half the battle won. If you don't know the true cause of why you're sick, we're going to be in trouble. I'll say it again. If you don't know why you're sick, we're going to be throwing darts at barns, guessing games, running around, trying to heal, this doctor, that doctor, we don't know what's going on. That's what's going to happen. Knowing why you're sick is critical, or your guessing games are happening. And guess what happens to guessing games? You might get a little better because you're cleaning up your diet, right? Taking a few different random sorted supplements that maybe a practitioner's given you, right? But you end up sick again. And again as time goes on. Then you're confused at 10 more doctor's offices. Because unless you know why you're sick, are you going to be able to do what you need to do? And medical meme information is about 1,000 protocols, I call it. Basically, instead of 1,000 cuts, it's 1,000 ways to heal, not 1,000 ways to die, right? And so Spirit of Compassion has always said to me throughout the years, helping so many people, knowing the true cause to why you're sick is half the battle won. You ready for this one? Okay. Knowing what to do. Knowing what tools to do. Right? Celery juice, what a heavy metal detox smoothie, right? Wild blueberries, right? Knowing what tools to do What to take and how to apply those tools is the other half battle won. Because that's how you get better. And that's why medical medium information has helped more people in chronic illness than anywhere else in our history yet. Yeah, sure, you can go keto if you're not that sick and get some results, drop a little weight, and then you're on it for a while. Yeah, but man, you get sick. You get sick. And I'm talking about vegan keto too. And you get sick. Then it's just like everybody's freaking, and so it's important. And medical medium information is about advanced information. So you know why you're sick, knowing the true cause. All that's critical. And you guys, that's Cleanse and Heal, but I'm in Medical Medium, the new edition, letting you know, if you haven't seen it already. I'm making the Mango Salsa Romaine boats. If you guys don't know the book, it's mind-blowing. Be open-hearted. Hey, how you doing? Guessing games for years. Exhausting. The phone's ringing. Be open-hearted? I didn't hear the phone ring either. Yeah? Guessing games for years? I can only imagine. Like, seriously. Like, all kids decide about everything. Like, I get it. Because people don't get it. Like, the financial stress with guessing games, right? The time involved. And then your heart gets set on something. Is this going to help? Is this going to help? And then you feel let down and you crash, right? And it's an emotional roller coaster ride and people don't get it. And then it's the people that don't really understand why you're sick. Just go to the doctor, right? Like, be open-hearted, right? Just go to the doctor, you'll be fixed. Yeah. And you get people that say that, right? You get people that say, what's wrong with you? You're sick? Just go to the doctor. People that don't know what it's like to be in your shoes, right? And they don't know what it's like to be anybody's shoes. And they're just like, well, all you got to do, why aren't you at the doctor's? It's just getting fixed. Like, be done with it. Like, what do you mean you saw 4 doctors? Oh, I don't want to hear it. That's what people say. Like, what do you mean you saw all these doctors? So, and I get it. Just the guessing games and the years going by, and just knowing that I'm with you, man. Just knowing I'm with you. Okay? Guys, just know I'm with you, sisters and brothers. Okay. I just got to cut open one more mango here. Be open-hearted, I understand. And you're amazing for all that you've been through. For actually persevering and hanging in there. So I'm just finishing up this mango salad here, well, mango salsa, and I'm going to actually put it on some nice leaves here. Dr. Fahn, he would say get the heavy metals out and use antiviral protocols in his books. Genetic illnesses are not what you think they are. Conventional medicine has no treatment other than treat symptoms. It's coming from an incredible medical doctor, by the way. Yeah. Like, very wise words, Dr. Fahn. So, guys, I'm just doing a little bit more mango, and then we're good. There you go. So I got my mango salsa in the works. I'm very happy about this. They blame it on your body. They tell you it's genetic. They tell you your body's immune system's attacking yourself, attacking your organs, your glands. If you got thyroiditis, you got Hashimoto's or anything, well, then that's your body. The best thing they can come up with is that's your body attacking the thyroid, right? But that's not really what it is. That's not what it is. Uh-oh, the onion. I know I'm going to pay for this. They don't talk about all the radiation exposure we have, the toxic heavy metals, the clones, perfumes that actually poison us. They don't teach us about clones and perfumes. I mean, people who are sick, they're going downhill as they're spraying their perfumes on themselves. No one teaches anybody about this stuff. It's really sad. So I'm doing some onion is what I'm doing right here inside this salsa. Okay, 1/3 of a cup of finely chopped onion is all you need. So I'm just doing a little bit of onion for this. So this dish is just such a light, incredible dish. You can eat this dish all day long. You can make a big bowl of it. What I do, just so you guys know, is I make a huge bowl of this one, right? And I just put it on lettuce all day long. Like I have it sitting there in the kitchen, right? Sitting there, just waiting for me, you know? I'm just starting to put it together now. And it's just so amazing to have. Lunel, trolls don't bother to first learn the information. Of course not. Thank God for that, because there's so much of it. That's how you know they're trolls. Sick people learn all of it. It's wise words, Loon. And I know you've been through a lot. You know? I know, like, many of you guys, maybe all of you have been through a lot. I mean, it's not easy when you've been sick, you know, and why isn't science fixed it? Why hasn't science fixed it? Did you guys see the TikTok, what is it? Not episode, but what do you call it? TikTok post I did today. Check it out if you can. If you don't have TikTok, no worry, but check it out, right? And it's like, why didn't science, aren't they supposed to have all the answers, right? Then some troll throws a scientific study at you, right? Here's a scientific study. Eggs are good for you. It's the last thing you need to hear. Here you are sick, and you'll be told eggs are good for you. Maybe you're getting out. Maybe you're lacking protein. How stupid is that one for so long now? Meanwhile, science also says that eggs are high in cholesterol and give you strokes and heart attack. Isn't that funny? So who's right? Who's wrong? What's science? Why are health professionals saying eggs are so good for you when science is actually saying they give you strokes and heart attack, right? And then science will come up out of nowhere and be like, you know what? Actually, eggs are good. It's a good protein. It's like, which way you're going to go, man? Which way? Right? Doing some tomatoes in the salsa. Going to do a little bit more. I think the bottom line is, when you get sick, right, all bets are off. All bets are off. That's it. It's like, man, it's just about getting the information and getting better, right? Isn't it amazing that people think that if you don't have a letter after your name, Anthony William, DSBB, S, PhD, MD, whatever. I mean, they think that if you don't have something after your name, health coach, whatever, if you don't have something after your name, right, then don't listen to that person, right? Doesn't matter how much experience they have, how many doctors they've helped over the years. Doesn't matter of anything, right? Doesn't matter. The most powerful people in the world have reached out to you for the last 30 years because they've had access to every single doctor there is and all the money in the world to go to every place, fly around the world, but yet they're at the medical medium's door, right? But that doesn't matter because I don't have any letters after my name. Got to have letters, right? Letters mean everything. Like, I couldn't have got some letters after my name. Well, I couldn't have gone to medical school. Chose not to. Dr. Sherry Green, MD, exactly, all bets are off when it takes you down and traditional docs have no answer. Dr. Sherry Green, amazing medical doctor. Amazing medical doctor. Okay. So we're coming along now. Let's get some cilantro in here. I don't need a lot of cilantro, but yet I put a lot of cilantro in. Healing tool. Oh, well, wait a minute. Didn't we know cilantro was good for us? So wrong, Anthony. Wrong, AW. That's no healing tool because we already knew cilantro is good for you. But what people don't realize is I'm talking about eating cilantro as a leafy green. And that's a medical medium tool. Nobody knew that. Like, eat it as a leafy green. Like, have this and even more. Anyway, guys, making this real quick. There we go. Just squeeze some lime in here. Put a teaspoon of cumin in here. That was give or take a little bit. You know, cayenne, you don't have to put too much. I like cayenne. I put a lot. I also put a lot by accident, but then I end up liking the fact that I did that. I'm going to squeeze some lime on here, you guys. There we go. Yep. That's a spoon. Someone said to me, for a guy that doesn't like toxic heavy metals, you eat with all that silverware. And I go, yeah, and guess what? I take more out of me than goes in. More out of me than what goes in. I do the heavy metal detox smoothie. I use the Vimergy products. That's the Vimergy spirulina, the Vimergy barley grass juice powder. So V as in Victor, IMERGY. I'm not sponsored by Vimergy, but it's the best stuff there is. Spirulina, that's a healing tool, right? That's a healing tool. And so I get more metal out of me than goes in. So I'm like, yeah, I'll use a spoon. Yeah, I'll use a spoon. Healing tools are knowing what to do, what to take. That's why I talk about the right stuff. Christy Kramer. I talk to my doctors about Anthony at my visits. ... Looking for them to say no, but they agree. I'm deeply honored. Okay, you guys, I just made the salsa, the mango salsa, right? There it is, okay? Looks beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful in a bowl, too. Let's do this, okay? Let's make a little bit here. Guys, I love having you in my kitchen. It's an honor to have you guys in my kitchen. Meaning I'm beyond grateful and honored that you're here and that you even want to be in my kitchen, right? So, truly, it's special to me. It really is. So I got some romaine. Now, what you can do, I have small romaine lettuce leaves, right? There's really big ones. There's big ones. That's a small one right there. So there you go on the romaine lettuce leaf. See that? Now, what I do when they're small like this, I'll take a few leaves, right? That's a big one right there. It's a big one. Let me move this one over. That's a pretty big one. That's a big, these are actually pretty big, you guys. Maybe I called that shot wrong, right? Maybe I called that shot wrong. Think I did. I have some decent sized ones here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is put some of the stuff. You guys watching here? I'm filling up the boats right now. I just love the smell of fresh tomato, fresh ripe tomato. Okay. Incredible, incredible. Okay. I got my mango salsa romaine boats. I got some romaine lettuce. I put them in there, and then you just eat them like that, right? Incredible. That's what we have here. Knowledge is power, and the details matter. Don't forget it. When it comes down to healing, the details matter. A reminder, that's the Wyman's Wild Blueberry Juice, okay? So shop shop.wymans, WYMANS. Link is in description.com. Link is in the description. That's the Wild Blueberry Juice. Talked about the shots. But I'm all about healing tools. Also, special things, right? If you look in here in the Medical Medium New Edition, you're going to see a section, triggers. And I talk about the different triggers. Very powerful section in the book for chronic illness. That's important. Now, you guys, MM Info isn't just about making a little bit of food. It's about knowing what to take, what to do, dosages, what supplements to try, what to stay away from. What to stay away from in supplements, right? There's no natural flavors in the Wyman's Wild Blueberry Juice. There's a reason for that. There's nothing else in there. And it's not from concentrate. But the whole point in knowing the true causes, these are just all examples, right? It all adds up. So details matter, details matter, details matter. I'm going to IG and TikTok. So I'm going to Instagram, the Medical Medium Instagram page, the main page, and then I'm going to TikTok. Then after that, I'm going to 369 Cleanse page on IG, and then TikTok again, letting you know where I'm heading. But it's going to Medical Medium and TikTok. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.